In most cases, if you do it gracefully, I think, most people would be pretty happy with that kind of question rather than you bluffing it and faking it, because eventually they'll get to know, that you're faking it. The first thing you got to understand is, again, remember, you're a human. You would not know everything. I think that's the pressure a lot of speakers put on themselves, thinking that they have to know everything about their topic, which is humanly not possible at all. There will be opportunities, when you may not know the answer to a question. And there are a couple of ways to handle that. I think the best way in my world is to be authentic and honest about it. There are a couple of other techniques which you can use. If you can throw that question to the audience, there are some people, from the audience which will give the answers, which may not be the exact answers the person is looking for who has asked the question, but it gives you time to think over. And then when few people add, to a certain question, you get to that point where probably the answer is coming up or gets answered. The second best strategy would be, to be very open and honest about it, saying, what, I do, keep the best updates for the latest trends, in my topic. But it looks like, for right now, I can't think of an answer for that question. And will it be okay, if I research or, go back to my mentor or whatever that is, and come back to you with an answer? Will that be okay? In most cases, if you do it gracefully, I think, most people would be pretty happy with that kind of question rather than you bluffing it and faking it, because eventually they'll get to know, that you're faking it. Another thing I can think about is that to make somebody open and receptive about something you might say, which might be a kind of bit of direct answer, which sometimes you need to do, be not just a friend for them, be a best friend to tell them the truth. Hey, look, this dress is not looking good on you. I mean, your normal friend would say, yeah, it's okay. But in their brain, they might be saying, like, you don't look like good in this dress. But a best friend would say, what, hey, listen, bhai isko badal ke ya, whatever it is, I will wait for you. They'll give you extra time so that you can go and, correct yourself. So coming back, what I have learned from my mentors, this something helps me a lot. There is a very magical statement you can use, before you actually give somebody a very open, blunt kind of feedback, which goes this way. It says, if I was you, I will be dash, dash, dash. And that statement opens up a lot of people. Let's say if I was telling you, or let's say I was telling myself, I'll say, if I was a mentor, mentoring, let's say Amandeep, I'll say, Amandeep, if I was you, I will make an effort to slow down as and when it is required during your presentation. Going so fast makes the listener tune out because they're not able to pace up with the level of speed you have. And a lot of level of speed can also be related to lack of confidence when you speak from stage. So just an example there. So coming back, this statement really opens up. There's another way you can do this, which I have done, is like, is it okay if I give you some coaching? Which means, they are now opening up to the fact. And you have to be a person to gauge whether they really said yes, because, it shows up in the way they say yes. If they just say a casual yes without all the, energy and aura being there, that means they're not open. So you have to reconfirm and reassure the question saying, are you really ready, for some feedback right now or for some coaching right now? And if they're not really saying strong yes to you, then you can leave it, and move forward. And the last thing, and I would like to add here, like when you, let's say, do MBBS and, you go out to practice your, doctorate, let's say, if that's the word, I don't know exactly if that's the word is there. Yeah, if you do MBBS, you go out of practice, as a doctor, you would not have all the answers, which you have picked up from the books. You will have sicknesses, symptoms, diseases and people coming to you, which is different than what you've read in the books. As you keep doing it, as you keep dealing with it, as you keep working with patient after patient after patient, a time comes, in your profession as a doctor, when you know a lot, which is the real knowledge you have acquired over a period of time by practicing, being a doctor. I mean, yes, graduating is great. It prepares you to a certain level to be qualified to go and practice as a doctor. But then when you deal with the real patient, real people, something inside you, changes, which is called experience. It triggers, so many other answers inside you, which you won't be able to find in an academic book. So the same happens for public speaking. When you deal with people and you bring behavioral changes in human beings, the transformation they're looking for, you reach a level, where even at times people don't finish the question, you pretty much know the solution they're looking for. That's the level comes when you clock in a number, few hundred to a few thousand hours, of teaching, practicing public speaking. So I think if you allow yourself to go through that phase, a phase will come in your life when you don't really have to, worry or think about whether I'm on the right track or not, because you've done it for so many times. That this path is leading you to give the transformation they're looking for.